Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for the last in our spring series of webinars. We really appreciate your all being here, especially those of you who are coming to us from different time zones, either early or late. We really appreciate it. So today's topic is going from a static CSV to SensorThings in just 10 minutes. It's going to be presented by Dr. Steve Liang, as always. Steve is a professor at the University of Calgary in the Geomatics Engineering Department, and he's been working in SensorWeb and Open SensorWeb for over a decade. He's also the author and editor of SensorThings, which is the OGC standard purpose-built for IoT that SensorUp's platform is built on. So he'll be able to give you a great introduction to our topic. Just a few housekeeping items. If you would like to ask a question, we would love to have them. We'll answer them at the end of the talk. Move your mouse cursor to the bottom or top of your screen, and you should get a few buttons that pop up. One of them is Q&A. Just click on that and go ahead and ask your question there. And if you want to bring anything to our attention, go ahead and click on the chat button in the same spot and either send a message to us or everyone. In that chat panel, I have posted the links where we have put all of the webinar recordings, and we will put this one as well when it's ready, as well as all of the webinar slides. All right. With that, I will turn it over to Steve and let you get started with the real meat of things. Thanks for coming, guys.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We really appreciate your time to join us here. Okay, so today's topic is from CSVs to SensorThings. So because from the previous webinars, we heard you that you want more use cases and more code. So hopefully today we should give you a very short but very common use case of using the SensorThings API or the OGC Sensor Web Enablement, which is to manage the environmental monitoring data. Okay, so it's an environmental monitoring example. So a little bit about me. I'm a professor and an entrepreneur. So I have a company called SensorUp, and I am also a professor at the University of Calgary. So just to let you know, we are consider ourselves as a world-leading expert in sensor web and IoT. Give me 1 second. Okay, nothing. I guess you can hear me, right? Okay. Okay. So about SensorUp, well, leader in the sensor web and IoT platform. And then we offer innovative and comprehensive SensorThings solutions. But today's webinar is not, we don't intend this to be a sales pitch, right? But just to let you know, we do offer a comprehensive OGC SensorThings solution. And then we consider our solutions are very, very innovative. But today's webinar mainly will be focusing on the standard itself, but not the product we have. And we're also a proud member of Eclipse Foundation and OGC. Okay, go back to a presenter mode. Sorry, I'm under the weather, so I'm not as energetic as I used to be. Okay, so news. Actually, I don't know how many of you have heard this news. Nest, which is a company, have their smart thermostat. They bricked Revolve. So Revolve is a smart home gateway. And then a couple years ago, Nest acquired Revolve. And actually, I met the Revolve owner, the founder, a while ago in San Francisco. And at the time, they weren't they weren't acquired yet. So here's the problem. When you choose a solution which is not open standard based, you are controlled by whoever provides you the solution. So Nest just decided. Nest is a big company, yeah, owned by Google, and they just decided to brick Revolve. And then suddenly, after that day, all the smart home devices connect through Revolve is done. And actually, at the time, they tried to build an ecosystem play. So they work with other developers to develop applications based on Revolve platform. And so not only the end user, their system is done. It's like, bye-bye. not working anymore. All their collaborators, partners, their investment in the technical expertise and technical codes, the software codes, they are done. So their business done, right? Because they rely on this platform. So today's Revolve and Nest is not a small company, yeah? And however, tomorrow it could be any company, can be big, right? Think about any examples. You think about big company decide, okay, we're not going to support it. Bye-bye. So it really strengthened the reason, the importance of an open standard-based solution for IoT. Because I believe when you deploy a thing or a sensor, you are thinking about more than 2 years, right? And yeah, if you are from a city, you are thinking about longer product life cycle, like the following 10 years. But if you're relying on proprietary solution and you are controlled by them, this is a typical example, actually. So from CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company, it said companies can potentially disconnect your smart devices and leave them essentially useless at any time. So that's given if you're using a proprietary solution. So yeah, use OGC standards. Yeah. Okay, today, what will be covered? Environmental monitoring. And lots of environmental monitoring data are still shared in CSV format. Well, the pros and cons, right? It's simple, it's compact. However, you cannot query it. You cannot gain insight out of it. So, yep, that's the pros and cons. So today we're going to show you how to transform CSVs into actionable SensorThings in 10 minutes. And actually, it should be less than 10 minutes, but 10 minutes it will introduce the SensorThings API. Okay, so this is today's topic. Actually, this is the system we're going to do. So water level monitoring system with SensorThings. So just open the browser to show you. So for example, like this, you can choose a basin and then go there and then choose some phenomenon and again choose the station you want. And actually, finally, you get your CSVs, yeah? And actually, this interface, I don't quite like it because think about it, for every station, how many clicks required in order to get the data, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clicks, at least. 5 clicks to get the data. And think about if you need 100 stations, you need how many clicks? 500 clicks. So not very good. Okay, but that's today's example. So these are the 3 steps. The first one is you need to configure the monitoring stations in SensorThings. That means the metadata. So what is the sensor? What's the phenomenon you're observing? So the relative static information. And by the way, those information are not necessary in the CSV files. And in many cases, when you do environmental monitoring, the CSV files, they don't even have the location of the sensor. So these are, so just a great thing that we manage that in SensorThings in one place, allow you to have a metadata as well as the readings. And the second step is download a CSV. And the third step is parse the CSV and load to SensorThings. Yeah, straightforward. So first one, configure and monitoring stations in SensorThings. This is the very first step. Let's look at this UML diagram and then let's see, okay, so for today's application, so how do I fit into this data model? So let's start from the thin. I need my mouse. So yeah, it's from this thin. So what is a thing today? Okay, today is water monitoring station. So my thing is a water monitoring station. Okay, and then look at the data stream is aggregation of observations. So we'll look at later. So look at, okay, what's the sensor? It's a water level sensor. And then this is very important. What's the observed property? Today is water level. So it's metadata. And in data stream, you also need to fill in what is the unit of measurement. In this case, it's meter. And also, we need to figure out what's the feature of interest. The feature of interest is when I collect observation. So what is the feature this observation observing, right? So for a water monitoring station, and then it's observing a lake, okay? Not just a point. It's a feature. It's a lake. So it's feature of interest. And finally, that station has a location. So that's a location here, simple geometry. So let's figure out this, prepare the data model. And then let's compose the JSON request for this. In this case, which is very simple. So first step, you post a thing. So description you have put description, Barrier Lake Water Level Station. So that's the station we're going to post. And then when we post this thing, we can use a very, very nice feature from SensorThings. It's called Deep Insert that allow you to create multiple entities using one request. So this request you are looking at is the one request for a thing, and then a second request embedded in the first request to create a location. So locations, encoding type, this, and coordinates, type is the point. Okay. So more information about Deep Insert, please go to our previous webinars or read the spec. Well, webinar might be more friendly. Okay, so let's take a look. So I posted today's gist here, gist. Okay. So you will be available. I'll give you the link later, so you can access these codes. So let's say they use Postman. Okay, here. So let's create a thing. So we post to here, the things collection, and then let's use this JSON request and create. So create. Okay. So this thing has been created. Oh, by the way, I want to show you. For this webinar, we set up a new, fresh SensorThings service. So it was there. It had nothing. But right now, because I just created a thing, so right now you have a thing over there. But in fact, there's let me see, like no sensor, no observation. It's clean. Yeah, just let you know. Okay, and or if you look at our dashboard here, and then just let me refresh. And you can see, okay, right now it's one thing and one location I created and one historical location. Just let you know. Okay, so let's create a thing. So let's configure our first entity. The second one is let's create a data stream. So again, this is a deep insert. If you look at this, this is a request to create a data stream. So like unit of measurement, name is meter, symbol is meter, and definition is what do we mean by a meter, and so on and so forth. And in this request, we're also going to create an observer property. So this is a observer property creation request embedded in the data stream request. Yeah, and same thing with the sensor. Okay, and then you need to link this the data stream to a existing thing. So we just create a thing, right? And the ID here. So we just put the ID there. So let's go to the GitHub. So we can create this data stream. Oh, here. Okay. Oh, not here. Here. And then changes to data streams. Okay. And we need to change the ID here. So we have the ID here, right? 17302. It was the ID of the thing we just created. So when I click post this message to SensorThings API, supposedly multiple entities will be created. Okay, so here's the return and tells you the addresses. Where can you access those entities just created? So if you go to the dashboard, you can see that, hey, the data stream has been created. You can go there and say, okay, data stream has been created here and no observations. Yeah. If you go to location, you can see, okay, the location is here. And in addition to that, we want to create a feature of interest. I just explained the location of the sensor is not a feature of interest, right? In this case, the feature of interest is the lake. So we need to create a lake over there. So let's go to the GitHub again. And here is we need to create a feature of interest here. Okay, so let's copy here. We change this to features of interest. Okay, so you can see this is a polygon, so not just a simple point, and hopefully it will create a new feature of interest. So which is here. So self-link. If you get it, you can get this feature of interest. Okay, so that's, for example, to show you in a more friendly environment. Let's go to our dashboard and then look at the feature of interest. See, so that's the lake. or feature of interest. There, we just created. Okay, so we have set up all the metadata here. And okay, here basically this shows you a difference, right? This is a feature of interest, a polygon. This is a location, it's a point. That's a great thing about SensorThings or OGC standards. Okay, step 2, download a CSV. So let's go here, and let's download a CSV from this website here. So view file, let's download CSV. So let's take a look at CSV first. It's like this. Okay, and then it has very simple station number, daytime, and water level. And actually today we only need these fields. So in order to make the code easier, so let's copy and paste here and create a new file. So observation file 2016-0407, save. I replaced my existing ones. So that's the file, the CSV from we downloaded. Okay, and let's go back to the presentation. Okay, next step, let's look at the shell script to upload observations. Just couple simple, just couple lines, but actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. Okay, so this is very simple. You read every line and the 3 parameters you have from the CSV, and you compose your time. You get your value, and then you compose your request here. So result is the value, time, phenomenon time is the time, and replace your data stream number here and feature of interest number over there. And then use simple curl, but in SensorThings, especially the SensorUp implementation, you can also use MQTT publish to publish it, and the header, data, and here's address. Voila, it's done. So let's take a look the script we have, and where's my Finder? Here. Okay, desktop. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, so that's the script I just showed you, and then I need to change this file name, and we need to change the data stream ID and the feature of interest ID. So let's go to for example, because I can't remember. So let's go to let's look at what's the data stream ID, 17307. So data stream ID is 17037, and then the feature of interest ID is 17308. 17308. Okay, save, and hopefully CSV to sta.sh. Hopefully it will. Okay, so we start uploading the data. And if we go to our dashboard, actually you can see the data has been uploaded in near real time, like this. Oh, it's finished even before I can. Okay, it finished uploading before I can show you. It's coming in near real time. Okay, so basically what I just showed you is how to convert or upload, transform a CSV file into SensorThings in few lines of code, and then in well, if I I think less than 10 minutes. Okay, so we load in dashboard. I show you dashboard. Okay, so here's the gist. We will publish our slides. So here's the gist. So how all the sample request and then the shell script is published there. So feel free to try. And in summary, hopefully we show you that SensorThings API provide a great developer experience. It's very much minimum coding, and it give you very good interoperability. It support OGC and ISO OEM. And so, for example, it give you location and feature of interest can be very different. And then, for example, in this case, station is the location, and then lake is the FOI. Actually, Coral just remind me a very good suggestion is right now in your chat window, you have the gist, the code. Okay, great. So one more thing I want to show you is once you are layered in SensorThings, right? And then you can use all the query function provided by SensorThings. Let me give you an example. For example, let's look at observations here. So let's say I want to query these observations, right? So we can do the query. For example, result equal 1375.07. Okay, query. You can filter only the result you want, and and although all those filter here actually is based on the SensorThings API, and also you can do, for example, I want a result greater than 13757. You can do that, right? So all the result is greater than this. Of course, you can do more, right? Like combine your request and response. Okay, and then also it's not only it's OGC, right? So location is very important. So for example, you can do a customer query here. For example, we have only one location here, so it's not very impressive, but just show you an example. Let's say we want to have to find all the locations in this SensorThings within this polygon I just put there. And here is the filter actually. So this is within. So it's a within. It's a topological query, yeah. And then so it returned the locations in this polygon. So for example, if I clear this query, I do another one. So I want to find all the things. Okay, within this. Okay, so the result actually, the previous the location was disappeared because it's not doesn't fulfill this query, right? Just to give you an example. And SensorThings also support other query as well. For example, like buffer in this case, and then so geodistance. Okay, and so this is buffer query, for example. And for example, let's find a query that include this one, and then query, so include this one. Okay, so hopefully I show you that it's very simple to load CSV into SensorThings. And once you are in SensorThings, there are a lot of good things you can do. And also, for example, including, you can really know where's the feature of interest of the observation. Okay, so what else? Okay. So this concludes our spring series of webinar, and we will start our next webinar series soon, and we will let you know. But we want to know what topics interest you. So please feel free to email us, email info@sensorup.com, or Coral or myself. Let us know what interests you, and then we can build one example for you and to show you how to use SensorThings to do that very, very easily. Yes. So any questions? Time for questions or for poll, actually. Coral.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. We'd love to hear your questions if you have them. I get that was fast, so if it takes you a minute to think of questions, that's fine. We'll be here. Just a reminder, if you move your, excuse me, if you move your cursor to the edge of your screen, either top or bottom, you should find the Q&A button and open up your question panel there. All right, so we have our first question. And it's, I think that GeoRSS is more appropriate for SensorThings than CSV. Does SensorThings support GeoRSS?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. So what I'm saying is loading to SensorThings is very easy, no matter CSV or GeoRSS. Yeah, so it's it's very easy. It definitely can be done.
Okay. So,
Coral, want to launch the poll?
Sorry, guys, just waiting for a few more questions here. If you have any comments, please feel free to put them in the chat window or questions in the Q&A panel. And also, while we're waiting, there's a poll here for you to just let us know what you thought of the webinar. So we'll give you a chance to answer the poll. And while you're doing that, let me know if you have questions. I do have another one that just came up. So, are you working towards being able to reference SensorML to include descriptions of sensors and processes?
The answer is definitely yes. So currently, actually, if you go to SensorThings, actually here, let me show you. Here, okay. Oh, my screen is so busy. Okay, if you come here, so you go to sensors, and right now we can have different encodings, right? Encoding type is, in this case, it's just a description, but definitely the encoding type can be SensorML. And so if you change the encoding type here to SensorML, and here will be SensorML, and then it could be a link to a SensorML, for example, and then definitely it just go to a SensorML. And also it is possible you put the SensorML here, but one little tiny issue is SensorML right now is XML, so it's not a very good idea to put XML within a JSON object, but basically you can do that too. But soon, actually, we will have a SensorML JSON encoding very soon. It's just an encoding, right? But definitely you can have a hyperlink and to the SensorML.
Thanks for your question. I hope that answered it. And if you guys don't mind, please just go and answer the poll while we're waiting to see if any more questions come in. I'll give you guys just a little bit longer if you want to think of any.
Please feel free to ask any question. Could be related to the previous webinars.
Okay, everybody. So we have no more questions, which is great news. Hope you all understood everything perfectly. Thanks so much for being with us during our spring webinar series. We really appreciate it, especially those of you who came from all over the world. We're really gratified to see so much interest in SensorThings, and we would love to hear what kinds of projects you guys are all doing with SensorThings. So please get in touch. And let us know your thoughts and let us know what you're up to. We'll let you guys know soon when our next webinar series will be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day.